So looks like I managed to switch on the recording. It was not so easy, so I had to use 3 attempts to did it. So hello everybody. We are on a new place, but we have the same idea, the same intention to share with you all the updates we have regarding the MSI and the supplementary projects, because I really hope that Priya will join us. I don't see that she's on the call right now, but I already pinged her in Slack. So she's supposed to make some kind of announcement and ask and make an appeal for MSI developers, because we need additional help on a project where Priya is involved too. But I still really hope that Priya will do that announcement by herself. So let me share first regarding the updates. So I wouldn't say that the first update is directly related with MSI, but let me share my screen. Click here to. So I wouldn't say that it's directly dependent on MSI, but taking into account that we spent quite a lot of time during this week on this pull request, and actually we are still working on it. I believe that it definitely makes sense to spend a few time and talk a little bit and highlight the work being done in the scope of this pull request. Romain unfortunately can't attend today's meeting, and he will make the dedicated presentation during the next week. But here I just want to say that Romain on Wednesday created a pull request where he provided support for Elasticsearch 6. And looks like we had a gap, because currently we are on a final preparation of Magento 2.3.1 release, and it's appeared that Elasticsearch 5 support. So the end of life of Elasticsearch 5 is going to be March 11 of this year, so it's literally in 10 days. And we had a risk to release Magento 2.3.1 without any maintained version of Elasticsearch. So that Romain from Smile created this pull request where he introduced a module, where he introduced a dedicated module where we support the Elasticsearch 6 version. Which is pretty cool, and also you can see that Romain committed that he will soon provide the support for Elasticsearch 7, which is currently in beta, but guys from Elastic are going to release it in the upcoming weeks, so that we expect that we will have all the supported version of Elasticsearch beyond supported in Magento, which is definitely good. And I wouldn't still Romain's show, so that we will spend some time during next presentation in a week, where Romain will demonstrate how the Elasticsearch 6 supported and how it works in Magento. Maybe he'll make some even comparison with the Elasticsearch 5 or like previous version which still supported. But this is really great, because guys from community, even having some gaps from Magento side, guys from community don't let us make these gaps in released versions. And another community here, I would like to say special thanks currently on today's call, and this guy will make a demonstration of the work and actually the fix he've done actually also during this week. So he finalized his pull request, and we are also trying to accept this pull request in the scope of 2.3.1. So I would not also tell too much, because Stepan currently is on the call, and he can describe all the background of the pull request and the work you've done by himself. So Stepan, feel free to share your screen. I'm stopping sharing mine. Yep. and you can tell more about what you did.
Yeah, hello guys. I'll share my screen. Okay, just let me know if you can see my screen. You good?
Okay. Yep, we good.
Okay, we good. Okay, so the problem was that in MSI we have until we implemented support of bundled products, we use MySQL view for providing available quantity. And our rollback system, backup and rollback system, didn't support that because Magento didn't differentiate the table and view. And if we had some created products assigned to default stock, so we had Magento tried to create that database dump. And yeah, and Magento logs foreign keys for this purpose. A second, maybe yeah, I can start to show. So for showing this error, I decided to use MSI, and I also have a 2.3 with my pull request here. So I'll show how it works right now. So MSI, so we create setup. Oh yeah, I also copied this view from the MSI to the tree. So we have the inventory stock in 2.3, and yeah, in the second database. So it's equal here. So and right now we can create a backup. Okay, let's look at this file. Oh, it's another one. I'll just open this with Nano. Okay. Sorry. So yeah. No, wrong. Okay. It's much lower. We can do like that, and try from the button. Oh, I have a better idea. I'll open the second PHP storm. Yeah, it would be much faster. Okay, while it opens, I can show you the error that was. Oh, yeah, so we have this. And F and stop. Yeah, so as you can see in a database backup, we have this as a table, drop table, create table, and it tries to lock table and alter table disabling keys. So, and try to insert something here, but we can't insert something to the view. So that's why this is the main error. So, okay, I'll try to restore and show you that it doesn't work. What's going on here? Yeah. Okay. Again. Oh, I can copy this from here. Yeah, it sure is an error. Don't use it. Was not locked with locked tables where it was. So yeah, and I fixed this with my pull request. Yeah, and let's try to create a backup. As I already showed, so we have this the same inventory stock view at this database, and okay, and let's try to roll it back. And well, I can start to load this file to show you. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry, it deleted this file. So as you can see, database rollback was completed successfully. And I'll create backup one more time just to show you what the declaration for the views was created there. So, and meanwhile, maybe I can show you in the code what was created. So instead of, yeah, instead of using the old get all tables method, I injected the new service that returns list of tables. Instead of show tables, I used the show full tables where table type is base table. And yeah, so, and this way we just get here only tables without any views. And after backing up tables, I injected here the get views backup service that provides backup for views. Yeah. And here we also get the we have the same query. The difference is only that table type is view instead of base table. And we also create the show create view. Drop views exists, and yeah, and so some basic structure for this. So yeah, that's all from my side. I just show you the result. I wanted to show you a result in the SQL file database dump. Okay. This took one. Yeah. So you can see drop view if exists and create algorithm. Oh, yeah. And so on and so on. Unfortunately, create show view doesn't provide like structured query like it's with the usual tables like here. So we have only everything in one row. So, yeah. Now it's the end. Igor.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Stepa. So, Stepa introduced the ability on the level of the whole framework to differentiate regular tables out of MySQL views. And now we preserve this functionality at the time of the backing up and the restoration. And currently, especially taking into account that MSI now is a part of standard Magento delivery and standard Magento deployment. So actually, all the merchants were affected because at least for the single stock, at least for default stock, to support bundle product, as Stepa correctly mentioned, we still use the MySQL view, and to support the functionality of the backup and the restoration, we have to implement that fix. But along with that, all the other extension developers who use views in their functionality also will benefit from this pull request. And also, we have pretty interesting conversation because in the MSI Slack channel, because yesterday there were several appeals like, let's get bundle product great again. So we definitely for it, and we definitely support the bundle product transition to support the MSI. And as soon as we'll get some volunteers who would like to support the bundle product, we'll definitely introduce this support. Because currently, introducing support for bundle product wouldn't be also just the bundle product support, but we can get rid of this view. We can switch the default index to we can switch the default index to the real index, to the materialized table, but not to the view, and that will introduce the actually pretty big the performance boost for the inventory mechanism. So currently, Stepa made the big step towards the bright future of Magento with the new inventory and with the supporting of all the exporting, importing data. So this definitely matters. So now let's switch to other presenter, and the other presenter gonna be not anyone else but Ricardo. And Ricardo will make the presentation of the performance improvement. And the performance improvement, as we already mentioned, especially crucial because currently we see that more and more merchants are migrating to Magento 2.3.0 and the 2.3.1 when it's going to be released, so that the performance fixes for us probably the top priority right now. So I'm stop talking, and Ricardo, feel free your screen and make a demonstration.
Okay, thank you. Okay, just confirm you can see my screen.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So, well, I'm just playing with performance. So, I started solving this problem, and I started from one entry point that Igor suggested me. So, basically, you know that MSI is one module on the top of the standard Magento implementation, and thus we have to keep the backward compatibility with the old inventory system. So every time you, for example, save something in the default source, you have to align all the old inventory stack, so the so-called legacy catalog inventory. And this is done not at database level, but at application level with a plugin. And the plugin is the one you can see in my screen. So basically, it happens every time you save a new source. Basically, if this source belongs to the default source, we are going to update even the legacy catalog inventory. So I tried to make something following the Igor directives, and it was to asynchronize this process. So basically, we just save the source item, and then we have an inventory consistency using an asynchronous queue. So this is just a test I did. So I changed the default implementation that was made by set data to legacy catalog inventory to a new class I created. This is just a test. It's not the final implementation. That is asynchronous set data to legacy catalog inventory. That basically is queuing this alignment process using RabbitMQ. And this is what happens actually. So here we have product with quantity 70. Let's say we change, this is too much. Let's say we have 50. Oh yeah, let me start the queue, of course. And if I click save, basically it saved the source item, but the operation of alignment of the legacy inventory is made asynchronously. And if it works and I did not break anything, actually we should see something in RabbitMQ. So, okay, you can see when message is incoming, and then this message should be handled by an asynchronous consumer. And again, if I didn't broke anything since the last implementation, we should have the data aligned in our legacy stock inventory. So basically this should actually improve performance because we don't have to keep this information aligned at application level, because this is good when you have just one product, but you can figure what may happen if you have to update, let's say, 1,000 products or 10,000 products or more. So basically it's consuming a lot of time, and if you can run this asynchronously, from my perspective, is a very good performance improvement. And this is what I did till now, so I have very few time to play with it, and I'm going to try to asynchronize most of the events. Now I'm just wondering if RabbitMQ is the right choice, or if we should switch to the MySQL asynchronous implementation. So I think in the next days, maybe I can give you some performance result based on some number. And that's it.
Thank you, Ricardo. I have a question regarding what you just presented us. So taking into account, because we are using the RabbitMQ, and taking into account that RabbitMQ supports at least one delivery method, so that it means that that our handlers, which accept the data updates of our workers, should be ready that the same message would be delivered twice or maybe even several times, because RabbitMQ can't guarantee that only once delivery of the particular message gonna be. So do we currently have any issues in our worker which can get data into the inconsistent state if the same message would be delivered twice? I mean, like synchronization message. So this kind of operation usually called idempotency.
So basically, I'm not sure I understood what you mean, because I'm not very I know RabbitMQ, but I'm not very expert of the RabbitMQ. So basically, you're saying if we receive
generally speaking, we have the RabbitMQ broker which sends messages, and when the handler handles that message, at the end, worker send the message back to message queue that I accepted the message and that was handled.
Yeah.
But potentially, it could happen the situation when the broker sends the message to handler, and handler will handle that message, process and, for example, update data, and but the problem will happen at the time when handler will try
like concurrency. So you mean a kind of concurrency problem? So if I update in the meanwhile,
no,
send it again.
It's not really concurrency, but it's the way that handler is not able to notify message queue that the message has been handled, so it should be taken out of queue. That's why broker will send the same message again to handler. So potentially that's why it's not recommended to put like increment operation into the queue, because potentially.
But in this case, basically what we do is a kind of projection basically. So I don't think we can have problems in this case, but as I told before, RabbitMQ is just a test to run something asynchronously. I think we have to think of what is the right strategy. So now I used RabbitMQ just because I had RabbitMQ installed and I needed something out of the box to run asynchronous processes. So maybe we could even use other options like even the MySQL queue management, or maybe some cron process.
But I believe RabbitMQ could be a good choice for us if we would have just an operation like set data, because where we're trying to apply this operation for the product say, where we have to synchronize the inventory update to all the storages, like catalog inventory, stock item. So that if we have just set operation, so the set operation is idempotent, so we can apply it several times in a row, and the result would be the same. But we have to keep attention that we don't have any operation like incrementing data, because, for example, it could be a problem putting reservation, for example, into RabbitMQ, because the reservation is
sure. Now I got your point. I'm sorry. I didn't understand before. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So looks like for this case, the RabbitMQ could be a good choice. At least we don't see currently a situation where we will get the data inconsistent because of the same message would be delivered twice or three times to the same handler.
Yeah, so my example actually, it should be idempotent, as you told before, because it's just a set data, because basically we just copy one data from one place to the other one. So it should be quite safe, but I see the point.
And so just want to say thank you to you, because this performance improvement is really crucial, and we already had several merchants who complain on performance on a product save operation because they have mass product synchronization with the external system, and they have quite a lot of product save operation, and that's why the performance degradation on this operation actually was pretty irritating for them. That's why such performance improvement, where we can make some part of the operation asynchronous, will be definitely a crucial part for this merchant. And just one more thing to say that, like, as this performance improvement, the same as the presentation by Stepan, is all the root causes that we currently have to support the back. We have to be backward compatible with the previous system. So if we were allowed to just drop support of the catalog inventory module which we had before, we didn't have any of this synchronization. So just this is actually the cost to be backward compatible. And we probably eventually will drop the support for the catalog inventory module since Magento 2.4, and along with that we will get a gain for the performance, because we now need to keep the same data in two different storages. We now need to make all the synchronization. So that's why, like, this is the cost of the backward compatibility. So it's pretty important to understand for all of us. Now, thank you, Ricardo, one more time, and we are really glad to have you again on our meetings. We are really.
I've been out for a while.
So the next presenter gonna be Priya, who will make an announcement of the new project she's involved into, and she will ask MSI contributors to step in and to help with her project. So Priya, feel free to share your screen or just to describe a little bit more of what you're working on.
Sure. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm working on a new extension that's an Amazon channels integration. What our extension will do is it'll allow merchants to publish their Magento catalog products into Amazon, and also pull their Amazon listings into Magento, and they can use Magento as a single platform for all their product administration. Import orders, fulfill orders. So it has a lot of features. And along with Amazon, we are also, for now, it's a Google Ads channel integration, which allows merchants to publish ads on Google. In future, we'll have more integration like Walmart, eBay, and Google Shopping Actions, Facebook ads. So for that, we would like MSI to have export feature. Like within the Amazon integration, what we have is a rule that says if the customer has, if the merchant wants to manage their own stock, then, because within Amazon, for a listing to become active, they need a quantity on product. So what they can do is set a default quantity when they integrate to Amazon. So that will be the quantity that will be used for all the products which says I want to manage my own stock for this. For that, if within MSI we had an export to an indexer table where I can say this is my stock ID and this is the default quantity that I'd like to use on all the products which is set to manage stock on their own, please use this quantity. It'll be a great feature. So that's what I wanted to talk about and make a request for contribution. And I guess I'll hand back to Igor. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. So let me share my screen. I hope you see my screen. So right before the meeting, I created this issue in the MSI issues, and actually, like, because we never considered before MSI or Magento plus MSI as kind of ERP system, because, for example, we have the enterprise solution provided by Magento Order Management, but Magento Order Management makes that stock aggregation and provide this aggregated data into Magento, so that Magento still behaves as a single stock system. But now we, like, with this kind of integration, which Priya just mentioned, like if you want to make an integration with Amazon, eBay, Google Shopping, or whatever, so we Magento will behave exactly like an ERP system. So we have to build our aggregated stock, which we already have, but we currently don't have an ability to export that stock to some external sales channel or marketplace. That's why what we need to actually accomplish, we need to introduce additional service. I believe that this service is going to be located in own module, like inventory stock export module or inventory export stock module. And probably it's going to be two modules because we would have the API module and we would have the implementation module. And in the API module, we would have probably the only service. And this service gonna be called like export stock data, something like that. And probably it's supposed to be capitalized. I just made a typo. And the main idea we want to preserve here, we want to accept the search criteria. This is pretty typical because I expect that we will have that currently like with as the initial step that we will send the whole stock to the external marketplace, but probably our desirable state that after some time we would be updating external marketplace with just delta of updated data, so no need to send the whole stock at the every synchronization. And also, as Priya mentioned, we want because some of the marketplaces don't support the managed stock zero product, which we have in Magento, so that the quantity supposed to be provided for all products. So now, for example, to work with Amazon, we want to specify like predefined quantity, let's say 100 for all the product where is managed stock zero is specified. So I just put this draft of the service here. Maybe it would be slightly changed because I still don't know whether it makes sense to return the result interface, because potentially this service would be used by big merchants who have like maybe 100,000, maybe millions SKU in their catalog, so that if we will return the 1 million objects of the result interface, it could be a little bit harmful for our memory. So that maybe just a plain error could be used here. We are still not able to return generator because according to the requirement, it's supposed to be we have to introduce the web API endpoint for this. That's why we are not able to use a generator. We are not able to dump that into the file. So currently we will do this pretty much the same as we do, for example, for repository get list. But this is what we currently need to do. Guys on the sales channel have a pretty tough deadlines, like the April 1st, so that if you have a spare time and if you have a willing to help us, feel free to assign this ticket. We already labeled it with a special achievement and with an advance, so that we will really appreciate your help on this track. If you have any particular question regarding this task or regarding the project which Priya just mentioned and just described, feel free to ask question. If no, we will proceed to our next topic in our agenda. So I see that there is no question, so I'm stop sharing my screen, and the next presenter is gonna be Tom, who will provide the feedback, who will provide the update regarding the MFTF testing, regarding the quality and the preparation for the 2.3.1 release with MSI.
Okay, thanks, Igor. Hi, everyone. So I'll share my screen here. Okay, hopefully we're seeing that. PowerPoint. Yeah, everyone's seeing the PowerPoint here?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so quality and testing status update. It's now March, sadly. So the primary focus right now is manual testing by our colleagues Slava and Vanya. We currently have 602 tests that we're churning through. Slight update from the last time. We've added a few just to cover some scenarios. They're primarily focused in sales. What we're at right now, so this is ongoing, these are figures from yesterday. So you can see we've run through, as of yesterday, 275. As of this morning, a little over 300. So those are progressing somewhere between 25 and 40 a day. We expect to be, we're about halfway through the 602 test cases, and we expect to be finished up probably at this pace within about a week, week and a half, and then we'll have a full regression for 110 covered. There have been relatively few failures, which is great. We can see we have a total of 7 failures, all within catalog currently, with a couple of blocked and a couple of skips, so those will be resolved before we finish up. So this is how we're proceeding through this, and any bugs that we've found have been logged, but altogether pretty positive results on this, with good confidence in 110. Moving on from that, automated testing. Currently our coverage sits primarily in our S0s. We've been working a little on getting coverage of S0s complete and moving into S1s. Moving on components, this is essentially quite a lot in the catalog, and we're trying to catch the sales numbers up to match the 110 scope that's based on S0s. That's 142 total. What we're currently running in these, see that date hasn't updated, that is from yesterday. We're 131 pass and 12 skip. We have some pending PRs to unskip those, but they rely on some of the core functionality. That DB backup actually affects the way MSI automated tests run as well, so getting that PR is going to help us get through these skips and run another couple of tests. In terms of our test creation trend, as we can see since early December, did y'all just lose my PowerPoint? Hello?
Yep.
Did you just lose? Okay, yeah, it crashed. Yeah, don't need to see the figures. I can talk through it quite easily. We've come up about 100 tests manual, reflecting the 110 features. Automation that time has only come up about 20, so that's slightly lagging behind. That's because we've had a focus on getting that full set for this regression run. As well as that, we have an event next week, Mage Test Fest, which I'll be at, and we'll be running some workshops, doing contribution day. We do have a focus on MSI for that in terms of automation and as a basis of sort of looking at how to run an extension and test it. So we're hoping to get some better numbers out of that, get some more contributors, and then the next 2 weeks bring up that automation number so it's in a much better place for next MSI release. But currently the tests are running, they're passing, so we're happy with that, and our manual regression is going well as well. So any questions? Otherwise, that's quality for the week.
Probably we are good, and there are no questions regarding quality. So probably that was pretty much all we wanted to tell you regarding the update for the last week. We will have definitely more on the next week, and I already see that there is pretty active chat in the MSI Slack channel. So right after the meeting, I'll try to join this chat. So thank you guys for your times, thank you guys for attending our meeting, and we will hope that our meetings will bring you just interesting updates for the MSI project. Thank you, and see you in a week.
Thank you. See you.
Thanks, everybody.